quick. It was the first time DraftKings has offered DFS for F1. I know Pearce really gave us like a crash course there, pun intended,
and
last week.
And we're doing it again for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
You want to help me out with that?
Pretty cool, right? We saw a couple of Red Bull cars breaking down late.
Leclerc, dude, that's how you pronounce it.
Getting the win as Ferrari went 1 and 2.
That kid's 24. I'm looking at him like, oh my God, you look 12.
It's so much money. God, it's just, there's so much money in F1.
There really is.
And he's so young.
It's an incredible sport.
I hope he has a good money manager. Pearce, what do we need to know this week when we're making our DFS and sportsbook plays for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix?
Well, first thing you probably want to know is that it's Leclerc. The C is silent.
Oh, God!
Oh, my God. Sorry.
You looked it up, too.
I looked it up 3 times, and Google freaking lied to me, dude.
It's okay.
Thank you.
This is a international sport. There's a lot of funky ways to say a bunch of these different names, so not a big deal.
Okay.
If we're looking at the Jeddah Street Circuit, this is a lot different than Bahrain last week. This is high speed. It's very tight. It's going to be chaotic. Last year's race was chaotic. It's already looking that way through practice. The F2 practice had multiple wrecks. In the Formula One practice this morning, we had guys missing their braking zones. It's hot. It's slick. It's sandy. They're all over the place. I would expect, obviously, with all the rule changes in the offseason, we're going to have mechanical failures so we can get some DNFs. But we're also going to see plenty of wrecks. So there's going to be value drivers that we wouldn't expect to run very well that are just going to make it through based on attrition, because it's going to be a pretty hairy race. Early on, it looks like Red Bull is going to be the team to keep your eye on. That's the Red Bull team. That's also AlphaTauri. They're on top of the practice board in practice 1 on the medium tires and the soft tires.
Okay, so with that in mind, how hairy you expect this race to be, who are you looking at for your captain pick in DFS, or maybe like a winner on the sportsbook?
Well, I'm expecting Max Verstappen to bounce back. As you mentioned, yes, the Red Bulls did have a mechanical failure last week. They seem to have fixed the vacuum issue in the fuel cell or whatever it specifically was. And Max Verstappen in the first practice, which is not the best practice to use, he was incredibly fast. He wasn't making very many mistakes. He was working on a lot of different things. He was clear-cut the best driver. He's the defending champion. He was up there last week, probably had a really good chance of winning that race if he makes a couple of different moves. Right now, it's got to be all about Max, especially with the revenge narrative of really wanting to bounce back from last week.